How have you been coping?
Oh God. So, like I said, Julie has been making sure
Mhm.
that I keep warm.
Right.
She's gotten me all of the coats that
Yeah.
I need
Mhm.
to keep warm, all of the medication that I need, and she's been very particular to make
Mhm.
sure that I'm fine. But it's nice, a new experience.
Right.
And so it's nice. I like when the cool beats me a little bit, so
Okay.
that I can have something to tell
Right.
Yeah.
back home. Yes, it's fine.
I know you were in Canada just a couple of months ago. Is this your first trip to the United States?
Yes, first.
And Columbus is privileged to
Have
have,
you?
you know, have him here. And of course, his first trip to the US
Mhm.
is through Columbus. That's a big privilege. And you're going to tell us how that happened. But first, it's important to know you. I know you've had scores of other interviews, and pretty much a lot of people know things about you. But today, we would like to get in a little bit deeper and know some things which people don't know about you. So, like I said off mic, we have Koi Longe, we have Dr. Koi Longe, we have Auntie Felicia. But first, before, oh,
Before.
okay, that's great.
Okay, but so where did Ko Elonge grow up?
So I grew up mostly in Boya
Okay.
and partly in Kumba. So I schooled entirely from primary, well, pre-nursery
Mhm,
till the university, Boya.
mhm,
So I went to Sase College
mhm.
and then University of Boya, and then I did my PhD at the University of Rwanda.
Oh, okay. Wow, that's beautiful. So, let us take you back a little bit. Paint the picture of your childhood. How was it like? It's
Um,
important we're asking this question
yeah,
because we'll get to somewhere.
Hmm.
it's a very interesting question
Mm,
because no one has ever asked me. I think people assume by watching the Auntie Felicia character that they
mm,
might know. Um, so I grew up mostly with my mom
okay.
in Boya. My mom used to work as a registrar for the court,
Mhm,
um, and then my dad was delegate of education, but then he became member of parliament for Meme
mhm,
Kumba, and so he was in Kumba most of the time, and
mhm,
then I was in Boya. I schooled in Boya. I was with my mom. Um, I grew up in an environment of very interesting characters. My mom herself was a very interesting character. Um, my dad valued education a lot because of his background in education,
Hmm.
and so um, basically, it was an environment that was very friendly. It was very happy. It allowed a lot for freedom of expression, even as children, that we could see what we like.
Hmm.
It was also an environment in which, especially when I was in Boya, we had a lot of neighbors and there was a lot of different characters
mhm.
that you witness. Boya is kind of a melting pot of all the Southwest tribes.
Right.
And so you see, with that comes with a variety of attitudes and
Mhm.
behaviors and all of that. So it was that type of environment where everybody growing up as a child, every mother in the quarter was your mother,
Wow.
you know. Yeah, so that
That,
was it.
that that's typical of Africa.
Yes, yes. Boya especially.
Boy, especially. Okay.
And Kumba too.
Hmm.
When I was in Kumba, when I was not with my father, I was with my grandmother.
Mhm.
And um, my grandmother was one of the most interesting characters. It was the way she spoke, it was the language, the way she used pidgin.
Mhm.
It was very nice. And my mother mirrored a lot the way she too spoke. So you could see the common thread in the way they reasoned.
Mhm. Right. And so, like I said earlier on today, you have different personalities. There is Koi Longe, there is Dr. Koi Longe, and there is Auntie Felicia. Help us differentiate these three different personalities.
So I think Dr. Kwelonge is the academic title that comes with having a PhD,
Mhm,
and because I'm involved a lot in research, I'm a researcher.
mhm,
I'm into academia. Just published a lot of scholarly articles.
mhm,
Um, Auntie Felicia is the comedic character created by Kwo Elonge. Comedy is something that I'd always wanted to do. So Auntie Felicia is that comedic character that I use in launching my comedy and introducing myself to different audiences. Kwo Elonge is me, plain and simple. It's just me. It's someone who is creative. Fundamentally, I like writing. I'm a writer, so it goes with also liking to read. I like laughter. I like to be teased a lot.
Okay.
So it's not just me teasing others, but I really like to be teased. It might sound this feels like a contradiction, but I like people and I'm humble.
You definitely are. You definitely are. So you went to St. Joseph College, Sase. Tell us about life in Sase College.
Live in Sase College. Where do I start? Where do I start? I think that Sase College gave me most of the values that
You're experiencing today.
Yeah. So in terms of family spirit, in terms of empathy, in terms of excellence, the culture of excellence especially came mostly from Sase and partly from the home, but mostly from Sase College. The spirit of caring, of wanting to sometimes be an overachiever comes from Sase College. Life in Sase College was really beautiful. I think I discovered myself from going to Sase College. Full disclosure, I went to Baptist High School, Boya,
Okay.
for 2 years before going to Sase College in Form 3 to opposite. So 5 years in Sase College. But I feel like it is when I got to Sase College that I was able to unpack who I was, because I was allowed to a lot in that environment. People teased me. They allow me to tease people, and I like teasing people. And I could tease people without getting beaten up. So yeah, so Sase College brought out a lot of the creative juices. That's where I started writing. Because I met a community of young people who loved writing and reading, and so I began writing. And some of them have become like really popular writers. You have Nahum Welang, you have Howard Maximus here, all of them here, and they're doing quite well when it comes to creative writing. And I began my journalism there too, so a kind of caricature of a journalist, because I used to present news, the school news in Sase College. I think that's where my love and interest for journalism started. I also loved the spotlight. I think. Yeah, so that's it. It's been a beautiful experience. Yeah.
Okay, so I was coming to that question, like why the choice of journalism at the level of the University of Boya? You actually said it started from your secondary school. So why did you hang on to it, and maybe you did not decide to change your mind along the line?
So I was caught between creative writing and journalism. But there was no creative writing program. There is no creative writing program still in Cameroon, in any university. So I had the choice of going to, I think my dad was proposing Legon University in Ghana, where I could take a creative writing course or a program. And at the end, we just settled on journalism because it was very close to what I wanted to do. I also felt that journalism would open doors in terms of creative writing. I felt that maybe there will be programs on writing that would hone the writing skills. So that's why I went for it.
And you are a graduate of the University of Boya, precisely from the Department of Journalism and Mass Communication, which has been said to, been very unique in training professionals. And what is that uniqueness about GMC, which a lot of people out there may not know about?
I think I would really like to talk about the excellence that comes from the foundation that was set for the department. I remember when I was trying to apply into the university, and I think the cutoff points that were accepted for the university was a minimum of 9 points from your best 3 papers. And so going to journalism meant that amongst the social sciences,
Mhm.
it meant that it went only for those who were excellent.
Mhm.
And so just getting to the class, you would mingle with people whose brain function or something.
Sure.
So that was a foundation. The other thing was that it was the kind of lecturers that you had there, the kind of interaction that we had. It was very easy because you had to minor in other courses,
Mhm.
and there was this strong power distance
Mhm.
between the academic staff and the students. But with journalism, it was very accessible. It was very approachable. That was the first time I could actually call a teacher by their name. So you call from the
Eno.
late Professor Nathan John, Eno,
Henry.
Divine, Henry, Chair, Kingsley. You call them by their names. And what that did was it created so much access.
Mhm.
It reduced the power distance. It made it such a way that you could actually have issues and just go to them. But overall, it's just that culture of excellence where you're dealing with a lot of creative minds in the same place. So yeah, that's what I got there. And this might be another arrogant thing, but I graduated best student in journalism.
Wow.
No, it's not.
Beautiful.
How can you say arrogant? That's actually what makes you the best in your domain today.
A lot to
Yeah.
learn about Koenonge, Dr. Koenonge, and of course, Auntie Felicia of X1 Radio. Today, we are privileged to have the artist live here in the studio of Apex One Radio, less than 24 hours to his first ever performance in the city of Columbus, which takes place tomorrow at Trio Entertainment, situated at the eastern belt of Columbus. Welcome on board if you're just joining us. This is Apex Snapshots, special edition with Sheen, and of course,
Shintebong and Ernest Kanjo.
our guests are Auntie Felicia and Loom Judith. They are here live in the studio of Apex One Radio. You also did master studies. Tell us about it.
Also, I did two masters.
Wow, two masters.
Yes, one in sociology and another in journalism and mass communication. I think, should be told, the masters in sociology came out of boredom. I used to work as bureau head of communication for Elections Cameroon in Kumba, and the election cycle is quite vegetative because it's repetitive. Every year is the same thing.
Right.
And when you do not have elections in non-elections years, you just have you have very little activity to do. And so I was looking for something that will occupy me. And so the first year when I enrolled into the master's program, it was because the master's program was not launched in journalism. So I was like, okay, I like sociology. Let me just enroll into it. So that's how I got into it. It came out of just pure boredom.
Yeah.
But then it turned out to be very fruitful in terms of the aftermath for my life.
Okay.
And then the following year, enrolled into the journalism program, the master's
In the
journalism.
same university.
The same university. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah, so I was done with both.
So you were actually moving. You were doing both masters at the same time.
Yes.
The
They were
brain.
overlapping because I started the one in journalism a year after.
Mhm.
So when I was working on the thesis for sociology,
Yeah, you were
I was
beginning
doing
with.
the coursework in
Okay.
journalism.
And tell us about your PhD research.
So I did a PhD in governance and regional integration
Okay.
from the University of Rwanda. I'd already started a PhD in the University of Boya in educational psychology. I was done with the coursework, but then for some reason we've not been able to defend that PhD. Not reasons that are from my end. But then so I decided to enroll into a program in governance and regional integration in the University of Rwanda because I'd spent over 10 years in elections management and it had a strong correlation with governance. So I said, okay, how about I do something that was in line with my work?
Yes.
you
Yeah.
know? So that's what I specialized in.
Okay. So we're going to be talking about the dancing side of Auntie Feli. So we've seen you doing a lot of choreographic dancing these past months. Is that a newfound talent, or you had been a skillful dancer before becoming Auntie Felicia?
Oh no, I've always loved dancing. I'm from a family of music. My granddad was a musician. My uncle here, Lawrence Elonge, is a musician.
Mm-hmm.
Music runs within my family. But dance is something that I've always done. While I was in the university, we used to have nights. And I can remember even winning an award called the Dynasty Award for Best Western Choreography. So I'm very good with dance.
Wow,
Uh,
that's great. Yeah, in fact, you have too many
yeah.
facets.
So
It's
the difficulty is always to make it feminine,
oh,
to make it fit the character, Auntie
mm-hmm.
Felicia.
Mm-hmm.
Because as a longer, yes, I can dance and do that, but when
Yeah,
you're dancing, you're interpreting a character, so you have to make sure you're dancing. Auntie Felicia should be a 50-year-old
yeah. You
woman. So how do
actually
you dance like a 50-year-old man with choreography that has been created by 20-year-olds?
Mhm.
So,
And you do it so brilliantly. I'm just trying to find out how how you make this happen with other choreographers, and you're making skits every day. Do you have time to rehearse? Tell us, how does it happen in the background?
yes, you have to rehearse. I mean,
Mhm.
you don't achieve that kind of
Performance.
choreography without rehearsing.
Mhm.
So this thing came to me when I watched the Cameroon Dance Academy
Okay.
perform. I'd watched them perform when Cameroon was hosting the AFCON games,
Mhm.
and I was so enamored by how intricate the choreography was. It seemed very easy, but I knew that it was easy because they'd done a lot of work in terms of rehearsals. Um, and so I became interested in that kind of collaboration.
Mhm.
And I wanted to give Auntie Felicia the character range.
Mhm.
So I said, dance could be something that I could try. And so I got them on board. The first time we used to do choreography, our programs were so we could not come together to actually rehearse. So what they did was they rehearsed on their own, then sent me the video of
Okay.
their rehearsal because it was in Yaoundé.
mm-hmm.
And I learned the choreography from Yaoundé.
Mhm.
Then when I came down to Boya, we met and we shot the video. That was a Dina Bell song.
Yeah.
And it instantly went viral.
Mhm.
They themselves were not sure I'll be able to deliver on the choreography because they have never seen me dance.
Yeah.
And I'm supposed to be dancing on
On
heels
heels, and
and carrying the bag.
as a 50
Yes.
mom, yeah, oh
Yeah.
mom.
So I cannot do I don't want to do the choreography like Elonge. I want to do it as Auntie Felicia.
Mm-hmm.
And so that could be the only difficulty because it's not easy to interpret that character.
Mhm. Do you have any prospects of pursuing this dancing
Professionally.
passion?
No, I don't. I don't.
But if it has to pay along the line,
Yeah.
would you?
So I like dancing. I'm not passionate about dance.
Okay.
I don't see it as a potential career path for me in
Mhm.
any way. It's more recreational, like just fun and all that. I like the fact that it adds value to the comedy
Mhm.
and you are able to see the character in different lights.
Mhm.
But that's just an aspect that I'm integrating into the character. But it's not something. I mean, I've danced in professional shows in Cameroon. I mean, just last month, no, 2 months back in December, we did a show. It was a dance off with the Cameroon Dance Academy alongside my comedian colleagues Caro
Right.
and
Copies.
Dorcas. But dancing is not something I intend to pursue.
Right. Let me turn to Louis Fashion. So before becoming a business collaborator to to him,
Mhm.
it definitely would have been his fan. Tell us what attracted you to his art.
Actually, everything.
Okay.
And Philly loves fashion. I'm a fashion icon.
Right.
So that's one of my number one thing. And the fun about Auntie Philly, he makes me laugh every night,
Mhm.
every day, every time.
Mhm.
So that's one of the things that really actually pushed me to get to know Auntie Philly more, despite the fashion icon of Auntie Philly.
Wow. And Auntie Felicia has scores and scores of fans spread across the globe, not only Cameroon, not only Africa, but across the world. He's hit the international stage already, and he's just going. He's just going for that. I want us to come back to your life as a media personality, which doesn't seem to be that conspicuous. But you started off with Freaky Table, which was already on its way to get into to the summit.
Yeah.
But Auntie Felicia came in. Freaky Table. I don't want to say it's past tense, but tell us about it. We are curious to know.
Yeah, so I mean, I started actually with a digital magazine called Unfiltered,
Okay.
where I used to do sociopolitical commentaries.
Appreciate it.
Yeah, I used to do sociopolitical commentaries,
Mhm.
and it was gaining quite a lot of traction. And I think it was from there that I met Joan Gomba, who is the executive producer of Freaky Table and owns Decoded TV.
Mhm.
And she just loved my thought process, and she loved my sarcasm. And
Right.
so she was like, okay, we do something. How about we do this show?
Mhm.
Now, initially, I was not supposed to be on the panel.
Mhm.
I was supposed to be at the level of conceptualizing.
Okay.
So episode after episode, even scout for the host. And we had scouted for the host. We had Stephanie Toom, who is an actress.
Mhm.
We had Yana Max and Joan Gumba.
Mhm.
And so I was just behind to direct. And after we did the first run, Stephanie could not make it. And so we postponed it and had her to get her the second time.
Mhm.
And she did not make it the second time. Life came came in the way.
Mhm.
So John asked me to perhaps let me just say, let's do like a mock show
Right.
and see how the show would flow. Not that I would sit there and continue the show. It was just like trial.
Mhm.
And we had the topics because I had researched on the topics, giving them the talking points and everything.
Mhm.
So I was like, okay, let's do it. But the cameras were on
Mhm.
and the crew is there. So I am analyzing a topic and everybody is laughing. And I wasn't getting at it. Maybe I wasn't speaking sense. But everybody was laughing. When people were on the floor and all that. And Joan and Yana were also laughing.
Mhm.
Then I turned to them and like, is there a problem? Like, no, carry on.
Mhm.
So after the show, without my permission, Joan puts out that
Okay.
episode. And once she puts it out, everybody's like, the entire comment section was like, elonge, 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 elonge. So she then says, okay, see, the public wants you.
Wow.
That's how I got on Freaky Table.
Wow. That's interesting.
Yes. And it was a beautiful run for three straight seasons
Mhm.
until Joan got pregnant and Yana impregnated some other person. And we just took a break because motherhood is not easy.
Mhm.
But we are coming back. We should be back this year.
What was the feedback from the public?
Vis-a-vis.
Freaky Table.
Oh, it was great. It was great. I mean, it became like Monday thing
Mhm.
for like people binge watched it, old episodes, and it became like Monday rendezvous for the Cameroonian audience, especially those who were interested in entertainment and culture. So the audience reception was really good. It was really good. It was a leading Anglophone entertainment program for the 3 seasons that it ran. So yeah, and it was my first shot into the spotlight. Yeah.
Now, I understand a lot of people who go into journalism, it's because they really want to practice it. It's a wonderful profession. It's enjoyable practicing journalism. Now, Auntie Felicia has come in the way, in between you and journalism, and perhaps writing. So, what is the plan? Are you thinking of finding time to get back into full practice of journalism?
Mhm.
Okay, so I think that because maybe uh, when we look at journalism as broadcasting and news writing and that, then it seems like Auntie Felicia has eclipsed that. But I got into journalism. I wanted to get into research,
Okay.
into media research,
Mhm.
and in that I'm doing it. Just October, I published another scholarly article with researchers here. You have Professor Elvis Shum from the University of New York. on the Anglophone crisis. We actually did 2 academic papers last year
Mhm.
together. So I keep doing it. The problem is that Auntie Felicia is such a larger than life personality that people
Ten.
don't see the
Yeah,
other
yeah.
part. And academia is not something that really gives you that kind of popularity.
Right.
In terms of the writing part, I've written Auntie Felicia, the movie, which hopefully is like how you have Tyler Perry.
Auntie Felicia, the movie.
Yes.
Wow.
Yeah, like you have Tyler Perry, Madia.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
So we're now looking at how to produce the movie. Hopefully, get it on Netflix or some other international streaming platform.
Yeah.
Um, the other thing is, I think that people don't realize too that Auntie Felicia involves writing. That the stories are written, the skits are written. So in a sense, I still practice writing through that. But I just finished my first non-fiction novel. Now, hopefully, get a literary agent because I never wanted to self-publish.
Yeah.
So if I can get a literary agent, that would be good.
That's some good news for your audience.
Exactly, because actually many people don't know that what you do involves writing.
involves writing.
Because we have in our mind, okay, you just wake up one morning, an
Improvise.
inspiration came up, you improvised, you made a video,
People
and
see the visual.
yeah, yeah. No, thank you for telling us because so many people are not aware of that.
Yeah, it involves writing. Not all the time, of course. Not every skit
Mm.
is written. But for the skits that there are some skits that are so intricate, maybe dealing with subject matters that are very sensitive,
Right.
that you really need to script it. We've done work on autism, we've done work on albinism, domestic violence, on hate speech. Those things need to be done in a way that is structured, in a way that
And specialists have to confirm.
confirm, yes, because they are mostly done for organizations.
Right.
We've done work for the American Embassy in Cameroon on digital literacy,
Mhm.
in partnership with the Canadian Embassy on albinism awareness,
Right.
on canabilities, on autism. We've done work with the Norwegian Refugee Council on hygiene and sanitation, but it's very specific in how it's been done. So it involves writing because it needs to be approved.
Right. Well, let's come back to the bigger part of you, the one that is that's shining your light out there. We're talking about Auntie Felicia. But now, permit me recall something which is a kind of personal observation. So there's this edition of Freaky Table where you had Cameroon copies. They had just risen at that time and were really popular. You were not Auntie Felicia yet. But just few weeks after that edition, you became Auntie Felicia.
Yeah.
So I was thinking that could these two have been part of the reason why you decided to,
Yes.
bring out this pistol?
Okay, so what people don't know is that Lovett Lambe, who plays Copies, is a younger brother.
Okay.
His elder brother is my classmate in Sasa College. And so I've known him forever. At the time, we used to live together. So I used to give them ideas. I was part of their team.
Okay.
So I'll give them ideas for the comedy. I'd wanted to do comedy, but I wanted to do it as stand-up,
Okay.
not as a skit comedian.
Mhm.
So I used to work with them. I loved their comedy.
Okay.
I was a fan. I was also a brain behind it, but I had not thought of doing it as Auntie Felicia.
Okay.
So that interview in itself did not even spark interest
Okay.
in me doing it as Auntie Felicia. I just loved the run. I just loved what they were doing. And I was there, clapping and like just contributing to it. Interestingly, when I wanted to launch Auntie Felicia, the character, I launched it on Caro and Copies. So I did a collaboration with them, and that's how I launched Auntie Felicia.
Interesting story. This is Apex One of you live from the United States of America. Guests in the studio today are Auntie Felicia and let me call her Lumi's Fashion. And in the course of the program, she's going to tell us how Auntie Felicia got to Columbus, Ohio, just to say he will be staging his very first performance in this city tomorrow, 6 p.m. Trio Entertainment. I will give you details in the course of this edition of Snapshot. produced by Marcel Adit, who is in Valsut in Germany, controlling this broadcast digitally from that end. In the studio, we are.
Shintebom.
And of course, NS Kanja. Welcome on board if you are just joining us. So, your entry into Cameroonian comedy was really spectacular. Spectacular because nobody saw you coming.
Yes.
But before they knew it, you had seized control of it. So tell us, was this delayed? Was something keeping you back from coming earlier, much earlier than you did?
Several things kept me back. The first was family pressure.
Okay.
So even when I started the comedy, my family wasn't supportive of it. Obviously, because for the longest time, comedy, especially in Anglophone Cameroon, was seen as something which was meant for school dropouts and generally just never do well. So, and then the fact that it wasn't financially sustainable. So how does it become a profession? And the family also thought that I was really building a professional path in administration. In Elekam, and I left Elekam. I went to the Southwest Regional Assembly as head of communication. So it was to them that there was really a clear path that I was following.
Yeah.
And I was also in academia. So to go for something like comedy and cross-dressing comedy to them was a no-no. Like, it did not make sense. Which I understand, because for everything that you have to do, it is on you to convince people that you know what you're doing.
Okay.
So at the time, you come from a family of overachievers who do not see comedy as something that you should be doing. That was the first thing. Also, my cycle of friends, I went to Sussex College. My friends were in the World Bank and the African Union and the UN. And they would think that I was doing pretty well in my own space. But then, how do you go into comedy? It just felt wrong. And then there was also the academic thing too. You have a PhD, and then there was the time. So there was that. But there was also the most important was the personal pressure that I did not know whether people would be willing to accept it. That I was going to do something that was very daring in our community, and I did not know how it would be received. So in a sense, I was my own gatekeeper, my own censor.
Yeah.
I did not know how it would be taken and all of that. So, and then I was in administration, where I was all in suit and tie to get up one day, and I'm in a blouse and wrapper.
Formality versus informality.
In fact, it is when I started while I was working as head of communication of the Southwest Regional Assembly. I will put the videos online, and my colleagues would take them, and when they are putting on the status, I'm like, please block the block Oma. And my boss went to his house, Mr. Elango. He went to his house, and Auntie Felicia appeals massively to women. And for weeks, his wife would spend the night laughing. So he became interested in knowing why she's laughing. I was like, no, this boy is funny. Then he looks at and then it's me, his head of communication, with wrapper and a blouse. Then he comes to the office. On this day, he knows I'm the one. Then I'm in suit and tie and everything, looking all formal, polished. And I come to his office to give a report. I talk with him, and I'm about going back, and he says, I want to show you something. He comes, and then he shows me, he opens his phone and says, is this you? I mean, that's me. I said, yes, it's me. I said, it's Auntie Felicia, but it's me acting as Auntie Felicia. And he says, can you come up with a way in which we could use this character to market some of our events and activities?
Okay.
And in my head, it was like, okay, I'm gone. Now I can do my Auntie Felicia thing.
Right.
You have a bridge. You had a bridge.
This was a kind of endorsement that I don't think I would get. Yeah.
Right.
So then family came on board. Family came on board when they began seeing some of the strides that I was making with the comedy. It wasn't just that it was popular. It was the type of partners that I had.
Okay.
So the American embassy came. I wanted to run their digital literacy campaign, and they ran it through Auntie Felicia. The Canadian embassy ran their albinism awareness through Auntie Felicia. I began signing deals with multinational companies, MTN, Your Farm, and all of that. So what it told them then was like, okay, now that give it a chance. You never know. So my sister, whom there was a day I went to get a kaba from her closet, and she was like, I don't want you for Tosh Martine. She was the one who called me. I was like, I guess my paper red kaba, where they go fit you. So the family came on board, and when they came on board, they really came on board, and they've been with me since then.
So that perception has changed completely.
Yes, it has changed. For me, even it has vindicated me a lot, because then it showed that my vision, I had the right vision, and it's nice to see how I've executed it so far.
But did you ever think that you were taking a risk by doing the cross dressing thing?
Yes, culturally,
okay.
I did not know how it would be received. I thought I was taking a personal risk because I first of all resigned my job because I wanted to pursue it. Because my job, I would go 8 to 6, and so there was no time to really focus on the comedy. And I felt that comedy was my calling. So I dropped out of my job, which was a huge risk. To my family, it was midlife crisis. And then, because I was doing the cross-dressing thing, I did not know how it would be received, whether people could make the distinction between the art form and the person.
Right.
Because you're in such a conservative society, there are a lot of layers of meaning that are attributed to that. And truly, a lot of it was attributed at the start. So it was left to me to actually try to change perceptions. And no, it's just comedy.
No regrets today.
No regrets, absolutely none.
So, why Auntie Felicia? There are so many characters out there. You could still stay as a male or a male father, but you choose Auntie Felicia. Why?
So, I lost my mom in 2017. Auntie Felicia is fashioned in many ways after my mom. The mannerisms, the mannerisms of Auntie Felicia, not necessarily the stories. And I was so close to my mom, and I began writing a memoir about my mom. But when I would tell her stories, people would laugh and laugh and laugh. And my friends would be like, but while you're doing this as a memoir, how about you just do it as stand-up comedy sometime? And I said, oh, this could be something. And I wanted to actually recapture the memory of my mother. And so I decided to do Auntie Felicia as a tribute to her.
Okay.
So it's not something which is just wishy-washy. Like it's a tribute. When I do it, I feel like in redoing her mannerisms in the way the speech parties, it's like giving back. And it's nice to see how it's received this type of reception, because I feel like it's a community liking my mother. And so I think that I have the right to do that, to be the person to bring back my mother's memory. So I wasn't doing it to just do cross-dressing. I was doing it because I wanted to. And I cannot tell you the kind of healing that it has been, this journey for me, because I've never healed from the fact that I lost my mother. But in doing that, I've been able to come full cycle.
Wow.
Let me add this to that.
Yes.
Yesterday we had a customer that was waiting for us at the store, so the store wasn't open. So she keep calling me. So I said, I'm here with Auntie Feli. She said, Auntie Feli? Which Auntie Feli? I said, from Cameroon. He said, what did she say? She said your mom's name.
Julie.
She said, hey, Julie, my friend. What do you mean? Do you know him? He was like, yeah. No, my friend, Pikino. Hey, Julie, me, Julie, we're going to see something today. I said, what happened? He said, Julie, hey. Wait, I go tell him, I say, you see, Julie don't tie her. I said, Julie, you're a papa. He said, they flop for my clothes and for them. Wait, I go do it. So it was like, oh, wait a minute. Julie, you're a papa fine, but Julie don't switch his story. And I said, Master, you flop for clothes for me.
Yeah.
So, it just took me back to Auntie Felicia. We talk about the mother, and for somebody I don't even know, to just come to me, it's like, hey, that's how the mom was. So I said, oh, okay, Auntie Felicia, is that how your mother was? Someone just told me, I don't even know the person was talking to on the phone. And she just recapped like Auntie Felicia's mother was so funny.
Yes.
So Pretty much.
And that is how impactful his art has been to the world. He keeps impacting scores and scores of other people. And I see a lot of young people out there really motivated and inspired by what he does. Auntie Felicia is his name, his life here in the studio of Apex One Radio as special guests on this edition of Apex Snapshots. Do you have a count of the skits you've done so far?
No, not at all. Not at all. But I know they are in the hundreds.
So, do you write all the stories, or people propose stories to you?
I would say 98%
Okay.
of it. It's mostly my work, but I have a team
Mm-hmm.
of people whom I work with who contribute to the craft. But I mostly come up with the stories and the scenarios and all of that. Of course, sometimes it's a fan who has an interesting story who will reach out to and say, "Oh, as if it didn't happen. No, I don't know how you should draw like comedy and
Okay.
all that." So I would have those type of contributions. Of course, there are also stories that I do as collaborations with other comedians. Sometimes it comes from them,
Yeah.
Okay.
and I'm mostly part of the creative process. And even when I have ideas, there is a lot of room for those who are cast into to shoot the idea to give their contribution
Yes.
into it, because obviously I'm not a know-it-all. There are people who can spice it up and make it what we are seeing from time to time. But creatively, I'm always on top of it. I'm always on top of it, because people sometimes come up with scenarios and send to me, and they are not scenarios that work with the character.
Okay.
You know, so I know the character. I know where the character is going to. I know the character arc, everything. So I remember there was a friend who sent us something. He said, "I want to do something with Auntie Feli. It will be like a mini series in which his landlord will impregnate her."
Oh, yeah,
And
yeah.
I was like, that's not Auntie Felicia kind of character. Auntie Felicia is completely uninterested in anything romantic or that. I created the character as a widow for a reason.
Yeah, yeah, yeah.
And I created the character as a mother because I felt that it would be more relatable like that. That we all know somebody in our lives. It's a mother, it's an auntie, it's a grandmother, it's a neighbor who is like that. So I never wanted to sexualize the character in any way. And so that's why I'm always on top of the creative process to make sure that it fits into the mold of what I want the character to be.
And so, when you're hired to do an advertorial, let me put it that way, for the business, so do they give you that free hand to write the script, or they bring the concept?
Oh no, I think that most of the businesses and organizations that come with me have grown to respect my creative process.
Okay.
And so oftentimes they would want me to come up with an idea.
Yeah.
Okay.
And they can always chip in something, especially to make sure that the key selling points of what they want is there. But in terms of the storytelling, they always just leave it to me, because why would you hire me?
Okay.
And one day I want to also write a script. Oftentimes when scripts have been written and given to me, the people realize that it doesn't have the soul that they're trying to communicate. So we would have to tweak it to make it, because people don't come to watch adverts. People come because they want comedy.
Right.
So we have to look for ways of integrating or marketing something without killing the comedy.
So how often do you come up with these ideas? Is it like when you
everyday thing?
have them,
Right now.
you write them and you keep?
While we are here, I've already come up with ideas.
Oh,
Inspired by YouTube.
okay. So you're actually very great at improvising too.
I'm very, yes, improvisation, yes, but also I'm very observant. Yeah, I'm very observant. I study people and situations a lot. I pick up on the slightest, smallest details.
So as you're sitting with us,
Yeah.
you've already come up with something. It's in
Yeah.
your head.
Multiple even.
Okay. Okay, that's great.
That's really interesting. That's really interesting. Stand-up comedy, we've seen you done that as well.
Yeah.
Tell us about it.
So when I do my live performances as Auntie Feli, it's usually stand up. It's not scenarios. It's not theater. It's stand-up.
Mhm.
Because stand-up is something that I've always wanted to do.
Okay.
I am heavily inspired and influenced by the great comedians like Dave Chappelle,
Mhm.
Chris Rock,
Mm-hmm.
mostly, sadly, mostly American comedians.
Mm.
But that was my exposure from birth. So
Yeah, yeah.
I like Dave Chappelle a lot. I like Chris Rock. I like Trevor Noah
Right.
and comedians like I like comedy that is intelligent,
Uh-huh.
that is intellectual, that is sarcastic. I like that a lot. Um, when I grew up, I wasn't watching a lot of Cameroonian and African comedy,
Mhm.
but then I got introduced into Cameroonian comedy through Sparkle and Zachary,
Yeah.
and I really liked it because it was very contextual. It was very different because I remember growing up, I used to watch I Love Lucy and the British comedies,
Mhm.
and while they were funny, they felt very detached from my reality.
Mhm.
But then when I began watching Sparkle and Zachary, and I began watching some of the Nigerian comedies like Gregory
Mm-hmm.
and Kemo Ukwa and Sam Loko
Yeah.
and those people, they were so relatable in terms of my own reality.
Mhm.
The language was relatable. The scenery was something that I could relate to,
Mhm.
and Sparkle the language. So it began unveiling the well of opportunities and sparking my interest in comedy. I've always been funny.
Yeah.
Yeah, so it's unfortunate that you're not laughing now, but now you're laughing.
What?
He got me laughing. He got me
So
laughing.
actually, when I listen to your comedy, the way you speak, I know of a Mami Ako when I was younger. She was my customer when I usually sell vegetable. As you said, you were trying to relate with mothers. Your mother, actually, she had that same. She was that same age. And whenever I hear you speak or when you make people laugh, I just go straight and I think about Mami Ako. She's also from the southwest. She also has that tone, the way you talk.
Yes.
And in fact, I love that lady so much because she helped me a lot, and
Yes.
you really remind me of her.
Thank you. Thank you.
Special thanks to you, Tata Nambeke. You're following us live on Facebook. Deba Owaje, thank you so much for your time. Titus Banyo, many thanks to you. We're also thinking of you, Marie Claire Candem. Thank you so much. Thank you so much, comment that you are in Delaware and you're watching us. We thank you so much. Linda Dark, thank you so much. You are in Minnesota. We want to thank you for your time. Live in the studio, we have Auntie Felicia, who will be performing live in Columbus tomorrow. So tell us any pitfalls so far.
Mm.
Seriously?
No problem. So apparently,
It's not been all milk and honey.
Okay.
They've been challenges,
Yeah.
obviously. But I'm the kind of person who always look at the positive.
Mhm.
And usually even the pitfalls have always been used to empower
okay.
and push me. Because I'm not one who complains.
Mm-hmm.
And I don't feel that entitled.
You rise after every fall.
Yes, and there've not been a lot of falls because I've learned from the falls of others.
Of others.
Yeah.
Wow.
Yes, but I think that what you have to contend with oftentimes is it's the fact that you still deal with people who might not still get it, who are still caught in the aesthetics of the dress
Okay.
and don't get the fact that this is art. They are in the minority, but then you still have them.
Mhm.
Um, before when I started, I was really bothered by it. Right now, I'm not. Like it's just another day.
That takes me to collaboration, and I want us to come back to it because there's a very amazing observation virtually everyone has made. You seem to flow with some of your colleagues who are also making it big in the industry. I'm talking about Caro Copies, Richard, Lorenzo. So tell us, where is this chemistry coming from, especially in a context where comedy is very competitive.
Yes. Yes.
So tell us.
I personally, my learning style as a longer is one of group study.
Okay.
I study better when I'm in a group and I talk with people, and so collaboration by that it to me works better for me. But you would only collaborate with somebody that you share the same value system.
Okay.
And at the core of most of the skit makers that I work with is unmatched integrity. What are you dealing with? So it's a character first. It's not just the fact that they are geniuses in what they do.
Yeah.
It's just it's easy to work with them. They are true, they are truthful, and they have so much integrity. So the brilliance is there, but you will not collaborate with somebody just because they are brilliant. There's supposed to be that chemistry, as you say, but there's also supposed to be a kind of enabling work environment where you can actually work together.
Would that also be luck? Because we really don't find this smooth collaboration amongst people in your industry.
It's not. I think it's a lot of intentional work.
Okay.
That we want to work together.
Okay.
I want to make sure that there is a lot of respect between us while we do the work. It's true. A lot of people have said that the comedy section, especially the skit makers, are an example of how we could work for other industries on how we could work. It's not that we don't have disagreements, but when you have respect for each other, you can disagree without being disagreeable.
Right.
So we have minor differences, sometimes creative differences, but it's never personal, and we're able to work it through because we have so much respect for each other. I am in awe of the creativity of Richard, of Cameroon Copies, of Docas, of Grand Lorenzo. Always in awe, and they push me to work harder because I'll look at what Richard has done today. I'm like, man, this guy is killing it, and I want to do better.
Yeah, that's the spirit.
And I think that we challenge each other. And there's sometimes when I have like creative blocks, and I will call, and I have an idea I'm working on, and I'll call Richard, and I'll like, got this. I get the idea, but I'm stuck here. What do you think? And he gets to work immediately. We did a skit this at the start of the year. Godis and I, it was kind of Freaky Friday kind of thing where we changed outfits.
Yeah.
And it went viral instantly. When I had the idea, it was so skeletal that when we look at the final thing and look at the amount of work that Godis and input that Godis put in to make sure that we achieve that idea, it's only collaboration that can do that. And it's healthy competition.
Right.
Where it pushes you to want to be the best version of yourself. To me, it's collaboration over competition every day. Because what is yours, right? Like, I don't think that I can do what Godis does. I don't think that he can do what I do. So there is enough space in the sky for all of us. Yes.
No, actually, kudos to you guys, because to have that kind of collaboration is difficult. There's so many people, they have a group, there's a lot of backbiting.
Yeah.
You share your idea, your friend takes that, steals the idea from you. So it's really difficult.
You set the standards for it. I mean, you set the organizational culture for every organization. If we don't tolerate it from the start, the thing doesn't take hold. It will not. So we don't tolerate that. We are very open. Like, if I have an issue, I would say it. It doesn't stop me from saying it. You know, like I would say it to you easily. Carol will say it to you. In fact, Carol always likes to say it to you. Sometimes too much.
Okay. So while in Columbus, these few days you have collaborated with Mama Eze. So that's our Mama Eze here in Columbus.
Yes.
So how is this collaboration? How can you access this collaboration between Auntie Felicia and Mama Eze?
So I got to know of Mama Eze when I got to Columbus. I'd not been familiarized with his work, and so when I heard about the Valentine's party, and I saw him on the flyer, I was intrigued. I was like, oh, there's something like, because none of us know Mama Eze. So I sent it to my colleagues. I'm like, do you know this guy? Like, no. So I went to his social media and I began looking at it, and I was quite impressed with what he's doing, because one of the difficulties that you would have when you are out of the country is to produce content, because you don't have a lot of people you can collaborate with. You don't have a lot of collaborators around you. So to see that he works with as little as he has, and he's able to build something that is funny and interesting, I really liked that. And then when I met him in person, oh, he's quite charming. Like in terms of his personality, he's easygoing. He's very personable. It was easy to work with him. We are hoping that we can do a lot more while we are here. But I like what he's doing. I respect what he's doing. I'm keen on how we can collaborate while we're here, because I know it's not easy for him working here. But he's been doing a good job. I hope he gets a bit more spotlight. Hopefully, the collaborations we do would introduce him to some of my own followers, and some of the people who like what I'm doing, because he's doing quite well. I still think that as a character, he cannot compete with Auntie Felicia, because he doesn't have class.
Okay.
You see that cheap makeup, and you want to put for head that blue thing. So
Auntie Felicia.
I don't even they close the color of close like rainbow, like Christmas tree. So I don't.
Mama Eze go answer you.
Sure.
Who
Definitely.
Who go invite you for you?
Okay.
That answer, we will get it tomorrow.
Yeah.
At the Love Extravaganza Valentine's Day party tomorrow, organized by Trio Entertainment in association with 614 Kings, and it takes place tomorrow, time 6 p.m. I guess. Remember, Saturday, February the 17th. It's going to happen here live in Columbus, and we will talk about that more with Lumis Fashion. So tell us, how did you get Auntie Felicia to Columbus? I read somewhere that it's a gift to this city. We've never had this before.
Really,
Tell
that's
us.
true. Whoever told you that is the truth. I was bringing Cole along there to Columbus, not Auntie Felicia.
Okay.
So that tells you he's my friend.
Wow.
Yes.
So it wasn't about Auntie Feli, it was about Cole along there.
Yeah.
So
That's a bonus.
so it's a pleasure having my friend around. So actually a pleasure for the community to embrace and welcome him.
Yeah.
And to the entire America.
Okay. Had you nursed this plan for a long time? And how long did it, take for it to materialize?
We've been talking about this for some years now, and I think this is the right time.
Okay, that's interesting. So, how do you find this collaboration, Auntie Felicia?
With Lumis?
Yes.
Okay, so it's easy when it's your friend. Because we bonded over fashion and comedy.
Okay.
She doesn't know that she's very funny. She speaks always cracking up, like she's very funny. But then I really loved her fashion sense. She's very daring, she's very avant-garde, and unapologetic about fashion. And she likes to push the envelope. And it was kindred spirit to me, because I really like what she does. She's very confident, and I think we clicked from day one. Like from the time we started talking, we had not even seen, so we started talking, and before I knew it, she became a friend, a big sister. She's been very supportive. She's been one of my strongest support system. I call her mom because she's been a mother. Like she does only the thing a mother would do.
Yeah.
She's very protective of me. She's so protective. I'm telling you, like, and so to me, it's she's family. It's family. It's not. Even
and she has a wonderful humanitarian side.
Yes, I mean, I have seen it personally in my life, but I see it every day in what she does to others, and the amount of giving that she does, the amount of empathy that she has for people, how selfless she is towards people. At the same time, always glammed up while doing it. It's something that I really admire about her. She's a hard worker, hustler. Like she inspires me a lot in the way she multitasks and she does all of that. And to me, I'm very keen to see the unveiling of Lumis Fashion for the entire world to get hold of it, because it's about how she empowers other ladies around her with her fashion. because fashion is very empowering.
Mhm.
It speaks to character. It's how you want to be addressed.
Mhm.
And so I really like the fact that she's very intentional about her fashion. I like the fact that she's so focused on female empowerment
Mhm.
too. I like the fact that she uplifts women a lot. I like the fact that she's a community builder.
Mhm.
So yes, to me it was enough to just come to Ohio and just hang and just be with family.
Right.
But she is, and I think that she's giving herself in that the time we're supposed to be spending with family, she's sacrificing some of it for that,
Right.
other people could have a piece of Auntie Felicia.
Mhm.
And for that I'm very, very, very grateful.
Mhm.
We have a lot of work that we do together.
Mhm.
This is just the icing on the cake. We'll have a lot of work that we do, and hopefully we'll unveil it as the days go by. But keep fingers crossed for Lumi's fashion because it's going to be explosive.
Okay, we are actually seeing the great heart she has,
Yeah.
because she has offered to the city of Columbus
Yeah.
Auntie Felicia.
Mhm.
So thank you so
Yes.
much.
And I
Thank
cannot
you.
tell you the amount of the treat that she and her husband have given me so
Since you
far.
got here.
They spoiled me from the first day, from the one they've spoiled me.
Mhm.
But by the time I go back to Cameroon, I'll be a spoiled brat because I'm now used to a certain lifestyle. I know because I think start meeting that Caro them and
Yeah. Yeah. Normally.
But that declass me. I know just it, yeah, because they don't know ace of spades. They don't know them. Most of them live at 4 Amatambo.
Definitely, this is Apex One Radio. We are live on
God.
radio today. We are gradually but steadily moving to the end of this very special broadcast. We will come back to talk about tomorrow's event here in Columbus. But I guess it's time for us to know how you manage this. You have risen so fast. You've hit the apex. You are a celebrity, to put it that way, and you have this huge following. I just checked your Facebook again today. More than 119,000 people following you on Facebook. Definitely more on Instagram and other social media handles. So you've more or less become an enterprise.
Mhm.
So tell me, how do you manage this huge responsibility?
It wasn't easy at the start because it took me by surprise.
Mhm.
Because while I started it, I was hoping that it would be successful. I don't know, it would blow this
Yep.
big,
Mm.
I remember as an Anglophone Cameroonian, I thought that if I have in a year 24,000 followers, which would mean that I'm averaging 2,000 a month, then I'm successful at what I'm doing. But then that was something I got in about 2 months.
Wow, it's grown.
And it's been growing and growing and growing. And most of my fan base is not even online. Because I appeal to a lot of women and elderly women who might not necessarily interact online.
Right.
And I know that because I'm being booked for several events in Cameroon for people who have no presence
On
online.
social media.
I actually think that I have more fans out of social media than actually social media. And so it was a little bit difficult adjusting because it took me by surprise, the pace.
Mhm.
But I like the fact that I started this when I feel like I've been mature enough. I'm grown enough in terms of my reasoning, in terms of my focus,
Mhm.
and I know what is important. One of the difficulties is always how to adjust it with family life. It's work life, and how to create my own space where people don't get into that space. Because one of the pitfalls of being in the public eye is people think that you owe them your own life. And so they want to get every bit of
detail,
information
yeah.
about your life.
Mhm.
How to set those boundaries was very important to me. But I think that I've been able to family and friends, and when I say family and friends, I mean family like people like Judith, have been able to help me to stay focused. Because they know me personally for who I am.
Mhm.
And so they are able to see if the fame is getting into my head. They are able to guide me if I'm going somewhere which is wrong. Because these are people who are not impressed by the fame.
Yeah.
They like the hard work, they like the success,
Right.
but they are able to keep a clear eye on the person and see that, oh, Auntie Felicia, this is not you. Like this is not you. This is not what you're supposed to be doing. And maybe I did not like the way you talk to this person. I do not like that.
Yeah.
Fundamentally, I try to be humble. I try to treat people fairly. That's a value system that I keep. I think that most people attest to that. But then there are times when you have those episodes when you're like, I'm a big deal. Eh? You just want to put it in the face. But then when you have family, it keeps you grounded. And I'm so proud of the fact that my family and friends have not become necessarily fans of it.
Right.
When I'm with Judith, we're able to discuss things with all the time. We discuss things that don't have to do artificially. I remember her own sister was saying, how do you cope with him, because he's very funny? And she said, we are not always talking about artificial. We have our things that we talk about. So sometimes we're talking about Lumis fashion. Sometimes we're just talking about life. It's not always about that. So I just like the fact that I have family like that can keep me grounded. And I've been able to set boundaries and balance. It doesn't get into my personal life at all. Yeah.
And also that you listen to them.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, you should be able to differentiate those who have your interest and those who just want to be part of you because you are this. Right? She doesn't have anything to necessarily gain. So the point is that she just likes me because she likes me. The family likes me. She's a good human, and that's how every other person around me acts. So yeah, that's it.
Special thanks to Rex Mbouge, Big Rex, for making this broadcast a reality. Thank you so much. And for all the fans out there, I know every single Cameroonian who lives in this city is a fan of this artist. So tomorrow is the day. Let's gather at Trio Entertainment. It's a very big space. You were there, I guess.
Yeah.
It's a big space. It can
Massive.
accommodate all of us. So let's gather there and show this artist much love. So for those of you who are watching us on Facebook, you can see the information about tomorrow's Love Extravaganza. So it takes place tomorrow, the 17th of February 2024. And if you haven't bought your ticket yet, then you definitely have to cough out $30 if you are coming there as a single at the gate tomorrow. Then if you are two of you as a double, then you'll be coughing out $50. I see another $40, $70. That's out at the door, of course. Then there is definitely going to be the Gold VIP. So all you need to do is to cough out a sum of $750. Platinum VIP is $1,000. Then $1,250 for presidential VIP. So I know Columbus is good at making it. Even if it's $3,000, they will be there. So get there tomorrow. Let's support this artist who is extraordinarily talented. Nobody needs to tell you that we've all had him for more than 2.5 years now, I guess.
Yeah.
Right. So if there's a skit which, if you're asked to do over and over, which would it be?
Oh God. Oh God, that's a tough one. I think there's an element of me that I give to every skit.
Uh-huh.
It's so difficult. No matter what I give you here, it will be wrong. But I am particularly passionate about the skits that have to do with social causes
Okay.
and awareness. So the skits that, for example, deal with autism, because they have so much impact on the community in terms of educating and creating awareness. I like those. They are not necessarily the most popular of my skits in terms of audience engagement, but in terms of job fulfillment, the skits about albinism, those ones touch me very close. I hold them very close. Then there is a particular skit that I've done, which is really my mom. It's my mom's story.
Okay.
So this my mom was the type of person who box. If person die, let me say it in pidgin because it's written.
Yeah.
So when person die, it is either the person has been killed or na HIV. So I had this friend, family friend, who went in a coma and then died.
Mhm.
And we were going for his funeral. And my mom is convinced that no, this guy, the way he went, it must have had HIV. So we get to the funeral ground, and she's looking for somebody who can corroborate that story, can support her
Yeah,
idea.
yeah.
So he called the guy, the guy came, see, I said, now wait to keep Paulie. And the guy says, Mommy, Paul just go coma, so it won't be 7 days, he die. Say, ha. I hear that coma chopping saute. I hear that coma chopping saute, they get to double it for Agbada before Cops show. So and the guy they understand what happened. Then he leaves, and then my mom turns to me. People are going toxic. he says people are going toxic. Like, so it's just how interesting she will put it. I was telling you the other time we went for a funeral of her colleague, and she and her colleagues were saying, "Oh, the woman want get high blood soon, and picking up key worried."
Mhm.
So the daughter of the deceased is passing, and then she calls the girl. Say, Mommy, try cry, mommy. I try cry, mommy. When no be like say, Mommy die moving at your skin, cry, mommy. Yeah.
Quite brilliant. We are about to run off this edition of Apex Snapshots on Apex One Radio. We've had a wonderful time with the intellectual comedian, artistically very brilliant,
Yeah.
academically on top, and of course, I guess this is one of the most serious interviews we've had so far. Perhaps because
it's one of the interesting interviews.
most serious because NS really doesn't.
Oh no,
you know?
I like the interview because the other interviews I have to go as a comedian, and not necessarily talk about myself, but Auntie Felicia. So it's a relief to actually have the opportunity to talk about me. So thank you so much. I appreciate it.
You're welcome.
That's interesting. So definitely, we always want you to speak to to upcoming ones who get inspired by what you do, who get motivated as well, but who at times could not be, doing it on the right path.
Yeah.
So speak to them.
What I want to say is value over shock value. Don't just go for trends. Don't just do what you have to do because you want to shock people. There are times when I'll watch some people who are just starting, and maybe the language of the comedy, it's borderline so rebound, like just downright pornography. And that shock value is to get people's attention, but then it doesn't have staying power.
Right.
The things that you do to shock people do not have staying power, because then your brand cannot just be shock. Do things that have substance, that have value, and don't be in a haste for fame. Work hard. Work towards quality. Not just quantity of things that you produce. It's a quality, and work hard, and never feel entitled for support. That's one thing I learned, and that's one thing life will humble you with. That nobody owes you anything. Just work and hope that people would like what you're doing, and that people will support you. So never feel entitled, without which you'll always be disappointed.
Another question which may be a little bit difficult. You are in a domain where people are up today, tomorrow they are no longer in the spotlight. Are you preparing for that psychologically? Otherwise, do you have a backup plan, a backup framework, which would let you stay around much longer?
Yeah, I think I always fear the day when I'll not be funny again. I always fear that day. Yes, but I know that one of the biggest challenges that I've seen, sadly, it's how most of the artists end up. Piss poor, not invested in anything in their lives. We've seen a lot of artists who, in their last days, become so beggarly.
Mm.
Because they did not invest. Because you're in an industry that tells you that you have to be fashionable day in day out, and you have to wear expensive things and all that. And people get caught up in that circle where they don't plan for the next day and for a dry day and
Right.
for the possibility that it might not be relevant again tomorrow.
Mhm.
And I think that for me, because I learn a lot from the mistakes of others,
Mhm.
what I try to do on a daily is make sure that I put in place the things, investment or other things that would secure me. Besides, if you look at the examples of people like AY in Nigeria,
Mhm.
who do not necessarily do stand up again, but they've built such a beautiful platform
Right.
that they've become the controllers of it. So to me, that's it. And I don't intend to do skit comedy for the rest of my life.
Mhm.
I want to branch out into production, movies and series. I want to do stand up. I want to get into entrepreneurship, business and all of that. These are all things which I want to do, because we have to look at intergenerational transfer of wealth,
Yeah.
not just cash in and cash out each day. So, and I'm very happy because I have somebody like Judith around me who has understood that perfectly. And so she's able to tell me, Auntie Feli, the money they so no go chop up. This is what you have to do. And then I also have a caring, supportive partner, my
Right.
wife, who is also there.
Beautiful. We are almost at the tail end of our beautiful radio conversation we've had with Auntie Felicia, who is still in Columbus and who will be putting up a wonderful performance tomorrow. I can assure you that. So we are all invited to be there. Judith, we know that the people in Columbus would love to see him over and over and over. So when he goes back, when next does he return?
Oh, Auntie Phyllis always going to be around.
Okay.
So,
Okay, we wanted to hear you
Yes,
say
the
that.
boss has spoken.
yeah.
We wanted to hear you say that.
Hey
All
guys,
right.
and when you're coming to the show tomorrow, bring your parotage.
Okay.
I'm joking with that.
Bring your
Exactly.
farotage here.
Right. So make sure you are coming tomorrow to spray the catch. That is it's become cultural. So don't miss out with that. So it takes place tomorrow, the 17th of February 2024, at Trio Entertainment at the east side of Columbus. Is situated at 2300 Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio. 2300 Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio. Every Cameroonian who lives in the city knows that that venue. So be there on time. It is 6 p.m.
Yeah, I think it's 9.
Okay, so 7:59.
Yes,
7:59.
yes, so that's it.
That looks like Rex. Rex does the 59.
Yeah.
Okay, so remember 7:59 p.m. Prompt. Be there on time. I be ready to laugh out your lungs. So, what are you promising the people who will come to watch you live tomorrow, Auntie Felicia?
Laughter.
Okay.
A lot of laughter, yes. And a lot of drama.
Yeah, yeah. We actually need that for the weekend because the week was really stressful.
Perfect. I mean, come out. It's the concept even in itself. Like it's a night of love and just being together.
Right.
So come out tomorrow.
And show some love.
Just show some love and you get it. I'm coming with a lot of love.
Yeah.
So, yes. So Auntie Felicia will be there. Elonge will be there. Dr. Elonge too will be there.
Okay.
All right. So the message has gone across, and we are waiting for the feedback tomorrow. Special thanks to you, Titus Banyo. I want to say thank you as well. Etienne, you've been watching this production from Cameroon. Benitamba, you are in Boya. You're one of us on Apex One. Thank you so much. Thank you, Nuela Nkelepak. You are in Columbus, Ohio. Frank Zuru is always with us here. Thank you so much, Frank, for being on this live broadcast. Flor Medina, thank you so much as well. Special thanks to everyone who has been part of this beautiful broadcast. We're about to run off, and we'll just get the last word first from Judith, then from our special guest, Auntie Felicia, then we'll be out of here. So, Judith, your last word.
Thank you, Apex One, for inviting us here today. Thank you, we love you. This is about my fifth time of coming here. Thank you.
Auntie Felicia, your last word.
Thank you so much, Ernest. I've been watching you for forever. I know about you and everything. So it was a great honor when I got this invitation from you. So thank you for the beautiful interview. Thank you to your team.
Thank you.
And keep up the great job. Once more, please, Columbus, Ohio. Let's make it a date tomorrow. It is going to be a blast.
It is definitely going to be a blast. Shin, we're running off.
We're running off, so thank you. We're so honored receiving Auntie Felicia and our beautiful fashion designer today.
Also, Marcel Agit was the producer of the show from Valentine in Germany. Special thanks to you, Lizzie Bronte. You gave us moral support as well. And for all of you who stayed, on this show throughout, we want to say thank you so much. Let's meet tomorrow at 2300 Hamilton Road, Columbus, Ohio, for a spectacular performance which will be served to the public of Columbus by Auntie Felicia. Thank you once again. My name is Ernest Kanjo. I was accompanied here in the studio by
Shintebon.
Do have a fantastic rest of the day, and do have and may God bless you. Bye for now.